Good morning. Today we shall be talking about addition and subtraction of surds, and later we'll learn how to multiply surds as well. So, when can we add surds and how do we add them? Two or more surds can be added together or subtracted from one another if they are like surds. It means you must make your surds be like surds before you can add them. Before addition or subtraction, the surds should first be simplified if possible. Alright, let's take example 1 so that you have more understanding of what I'm trying to say. Example 1 says you should add root 12 plus root 3. How do we add this? Now, root 12 and root 3 are not like surds, but root 12 can be simplified to become a like surd. I explained the meaning of like surd in our last video class when I said, for instance, we have 2 root 3 and 4 root 3. These are like surd because we have root 3 in common. So try to express root 12 in terms of root 3. Alright, so we say root 12, of course, is 4 times 3, and 4 is a perfect square while 3 is not. So 4 times 3 could be split into root 4 times root 3, and we know that root 4 is 2. So express root 12 as a basic surd of 2 root 3. So you have root 4, which will give us 2, then root 3 as root 3, then plus root 3. Now, of course, these two are like surds. This is 2 root 3 and this is 1 root 3. So when you see root 3, it means 1 root 3. Now, root 3 is like an entity, like x. If you have 2x plus 1x, that becomes 3x. Of course, so 2 root 3 plus 1 of root 3 will give us 3 of root 3. Simple. It's like 2 naira plus 1 naira, that gives us 3 naira. So you have 3 root 3. Another way is factorize 3 out, then you have 2 plus 1, which gives us 3. The same thing, you have 3 root 3. I believe that's simple and clear. Okay, let's talk about example 2. We have to simplify 2 root 8 minus 3 root 32 plus 4 root 50. They are not like surds, but you can express them as like surds. Do you understand? So your root 8 is, of course, 4 root 2. That gives us 2. Your root 8 is 4 times 2 root 4. 2 root 4 times 2. So root 4 will give us 2. Then you are left with root 2. That will give us 4 root 2. Can you see that? Why your root 32 will give us 16 times 2, and that will give us 4 root 2. 2 times this 3, we have 12 root 2. Can you see that? Likewise, your 50 will give us 25 times 2. Make sure you look for a perfect square times a non-perfect square, and that will give us the square root of 25 will give us 5. 5 times 4 will give us 20. You multiply the whole numbers together and leave the square root part. That will give us 50 of root 2. So, that will give us 5 times 4, 20 of root 2. Sorry, so you have 20 root 2. Now, these are like surds. We have 4 root 2 minus 12 root 2 plus 20 root 2. So you can collect like terms or like surds, or how do you say it? Positive and negative surds. You have 4 of root 2 plus 20 of root 2. That will give us 24 of root 2. 24 root 2 minus 12 of root 2 will give us 12 of root 2. So you have 12 root 2. Or you can factorize out root 2. Then you have 4 minus 12 plus 20. Of course, that still gives us 12. So we have 12 root 2, our final answer. I believe that is simple and clear. Example 3, which have been done. Okay, this is 2 here. We have 3 root 5 minus 7 root 5. That's simple. They are like surds already. They are already expressed in terms of root 5. So 3 minus 7 will give us what? Minus 4. So you have minus 4 root 5. Simple. And the last one, which is number 4, it says root 32 minus root 27 plus 2 root 75. How do you express these as like surds? 32 is 16 times 2, so we have 4 root 2. 27 is 9 times 3, we have 3 root 3. And 75 is 25 times 3, we have 5 root 3. 5 times 2 will give us 10, so we have 10 root 3. Therefore, we have 4 root 2 minus 3 root 3 plus 10 root 3. Good. Now, you can see that these 3, only 2 are like surds. You can only add and subtract like surds. It's like you're having x and y. We cannot add x and y, but we can add x plus x or y plus y. So you say, okay, fine. write your 4 root 2 as 4 root 2 because nothing can be done. Then you have minus 3 root 3 plus 10 root 3. You are saying minus 3 plus 10. That will give us what? Plus 7. So you have plus 7 of root 3. It means you have plus 7 root 3. Then your final answer will become or will be 4 root 2 plus 7 root 3. I think you understand that clearly. Okay, you have some evaluations to solve here. So make sure you look for a perfect square, number that has a whole number square root. I explained that in the last class, how to express surds in basic forms and in singular form. Alright, so let's only you have to do evaluations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, next is let's learn how to multiply surds, which is where we'll stop today. Okay, when two or more surds are multiplied together, they should first be simplified if possible. Then multiply whole number by whole number and surd with surd. Yes, this is the basic rule here. You must understand the fact that when multiplying surds, you multiply whole number by whole number, then square root numbers by square root numbers. Okay, example 1 is square root of 27 times root 50. So you have root 27 times root 50. You can simplify this. 27 is 9 times 3, 150 is 50 times 27 times 2. So you have 3 root 3 for root 27, and you have 5 root 2 because the square root of 25 is 5 and root 2 is left as root 2. Then you multiply whole number by whole number. The number outside the square roots, those numbers are called whole numbers. So we have 3 times 5. Then you have what? 15. Then you have root 3 times root 2. You multiply the numbers in the surd. 3 times 2 is what? 6. That will give us root 6. So root 3 times root 2 will give us root 6. But if you are multiplying root 2 times root 2, that will give us 2. Do you understand? Root 4 times root 4 is 4. Root 6 times root 6 is 6. But root 6 times root 3 will give us root 18. Do you understand? You multiply the two numbers together in the surd. So, of course, root 3 times root 2 will give us root 6. So, your final answer is 15 root 6. The next one is 4 root 3 all square. When you see any number having a square, it means multiply the number by itself. So what you're going to do is this. You say 4 root 3 times 4 root 3. And of course, you multiply the whole number by whole number and root by root. So you have 4 times 4, that will give us 16. Then root 3 times root 3 will give us 3, like I said before. So of course, root 3 times root 3 means 3 times 3 in the square root, that will give us root 9. Square root of 9 will give us 3. Can you see that? So in your next example or in your assignment, you just do root 3 times root 3 will give us 3. You don't need to write root 9. Do you understand? So we have 16 times 3, which will give us 48 as a final answer. And for number 3, you have root 32 times root 6 times root 2. Okay, 32 will give us 16 times 2, which is of course 32. Then you have root 6 and root 2. Root 6 and root 2 can't be simplified further. You cannot have a perfect square times any number to have those numbers. These numbers are already in their basic forms. Okay, so the next thing to do is what? Express root 32 as basic surd by saying the square root of 16 will give us 4. We should give us the whole number part, then root 2. You have 4 root 2. Okay, so you have 4 root 2 plus 1 root 2. That will give us what? 5 root 2 because they are like. Okay, sorry. We are multiplying. You have to multiply everything in the surd. So you have 4 times root 2 times root 6 times root 2. So you have 4. Now leave your 4, then multiply all the surds together, all the square root part together. So you have 2 times 6 times 2. That will give us 2 times 6, 12 times 2, 24. Do you understand? But you can see that you have 2 and 2 as well again. Don't forget that. That will give us root 4 times root 6, and the square root of 4 will give us 2. So 2 comes out as a whole number. That will give us 8 root 6. Or from here we have root 2 times root 2. That will give us 2. 2 times 4 is 8 root 6. Anyhow you want to do it, it's fine. Alright, I believe that is clear. So you have these evaluations to solve. Make sure you attempt all questions. Okay, let's take one more problem before we take our last evaluation. One more example. If you have a complex surdic form like 3 root 5 plus 2 into root 5 plus 3, how do you manage to multiply that? Don't forget, multiply whole number by whole number and surds by surds. So if you do this, what will you do? You will say 3 root 5 times 5. just say 3 times 1. You know, root 5 is 1 root 5. 3 times 1, 3. Root 5 times root 5 will give us what? Root 25, and that's 5. So you have 3 times 5, that will give us 25, and that will give us 15. Sorry. Then you have root 5 times 3, that will give us 3 root 5 times 3, that will give us 9 root 5. Can you see that? This is 9 root 5. Then 2 times root 5 will give us 2 root 5. Just say 2 times root 5 will give us 2 and root 5, 2 root 5. Then 2 times 3 will give us 6. You can see that. Alright, so now we have root 25, that will give us what? 5. We have 3 times 5, then we have 9 root 5 plus 2 root 5. If you add 9 root 5 plus 2 root 5, we have 11 root 5, then plus 6 the whole number. Alright, so 2 times 5 will give us 15. If you add the whole number together, don't forget, you can add the numbers together like times together. So 6 plus 15 will give us 21, then plus our 11 root 5. I believe that is clear, and that's your answer. You can't do anything further. The next is number 2. We have 3 root 2 minus 2 root 3 into 5 root 2 minus root 3. Like I said, you say like normal expansion that we do in our basic classes. So 3 root 2 times 5 root 2. We say 3 times 5, 15. Root 2 times root 2, 2. Or you write root 4, which will still give us 2. Then 3 root 2 times minus root 3. That will give us 3 times 1, 3. 2 times 3, 6. Minus root 6. Next, minus 2 root 3 times 5 root 2. That will give us minus 2 times 5, minus 10. Root 3 times root 2, root 6. Next, minus 2 root 3 times minus root 3. Minus times minus plus. 2 times 1, 2. And root 3 times root 3, 3. Or you say root 9, which should still give us 3. So we have 15 times 2. Root 4 is 2. Now we have root 6, root 6. Minus 3 root 6 minus 10 root 6 will give us what? Minus 13 of root 6. Then you have plus 2 root 9. Can you see that? But root 9 is 3. So 2 times 3, 6. So you have 6 there. Then you have 30 plus 6. That will give us what? 36 minus 13 root 6, which is our answer. Okay, so you have to do this evaluation as well. Therefore, I believe the class is clear. Okay, so in our next class, we're talking about how to divide surds. I believe this class is clear. You have this evaluation to do. Please attempt all evaluations and submit before the day runs out. Thank you, and have a nice time.